I just think, and you know way better than me,
Yeah.
but like, it just feels like people are jealous of this new little wave of.
They are, but I just hate that because like this is what we've always wanted as a league. So like, who cares who gets the credit? And if you're smart, you're making money off of them.
Yeah.
Like you are literally making money from the viewership.
And why bully the person who is like not 100% responsible, but like has a huge role in growing your sport?
The silence in the WNBA had been deafening. For far too long, blatant bullying against Caitlin Clark had gone unchecked, and no one in the league seemed to have the courage or the platform to call it out for what it truly was: targeted harassment. That was until Sophie Cunningham stepped forward and finally said what fans had been shouting into the void for months: enough is enough. If you're with Sophie, you might as well comment "Protect Caitlin Clark" right now, because this is where it gets real. Sophie didn't sugarcoat it either, saying, "There are a lot of really good, well-known players in our league, and I'm not discrediting them. We have a lot of badasses in our league, hell, yeah, to that, I'm all for it. But when people try to argue that Caitlin isn't the face of our league, or that the WNBA would be where it is without her, you're just dumb as hell." The noise around Clark's treatment has now reached a fever pitch, and the tension is boiling over. What was once a heated conversation in fan group chats and angry comment sections is now being shouted out loud by someone on the inside. Sophie Cunningham hasn't just seen the abuse. Clark has faced, she's felt it herself, and she's decided she will no longer stand by while the league's biggest star is disrespected, targeted, and sabotaged by opponents and referees who should be protecting her, not punishing her. When asked about Clark's impact, Sophie acknowledged she's one of the biggest stars the WNBA has ever had. She's transformed not just the league but women's basketball as a whole, worldwide. It's crazy she's only 22 or 23 years old, and the entire world is watching her. But Cunningham didn't stop at compliments. She went further than any active player before her, openly criticizing the very system that has benefited from Caitlin's success while failing to safeguard her. Sophie openly admitted that even before joining Clark's team, she knew how opponents approached her. "Back when I was in Phoenix, I knew the locker room talks," she revealed. "It was like, we're going to prove her. We're going to show her what the W is really about. And yeah, every rookie gets tested. I get that, but with Caitlin, there was just more. It was different." What Sophie disclosed was chilling. She had been in those rooms, part of those conversations, and even part of those game plans designed specifically to rough up Clark. These weren't spontaneous acts of physicality. They were premeditated strategies. Now, in her second year playing alongside Caitlin, Sophie sees the vendetta from the other side, and it shocks her. "What are people doing? It's just too much. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it really is," she said, emphasizing that no other rookie in league history has ever been subjected to this level of targeted aggression. The closest comparison might be LeBron James, who took plenty of hard fouls early in his career, but even then, players made sure not to hurt him. With Clark, Sophie says, the intent often feels malicious. Yet critics try to dismiss it as just physical play or claim she deserves it because she talks trash. The numbers back Sophie up. In her rookie year alone, Caitlin Clark was on the receiving end of 20% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA, 1 in every 5. She missed games from 3 separate injuries, 2 groin issues, and a quad strain. That's not coincidence, that's a campaign. Yet sports anchors still downplay it, saying, "This is normal physicality." Sophie and many fans know better. These escalating hits, like Kennedy Carter's cheap shot that was ruled a common foul, Alyssa Thomas' shoulder check that escaped a flagrant call, and Marina Mabry's shove that sent Clark to the floor, have been met with the same message. From officials, nothing to see here. Sophie isn't speaking from guesswork. She's been in the WNBA for 6 years, played against Clark, and now plays beside her. She knows what's fair and what's foul. She even recounted on her podcast, Show Me Something, that when she was still on the Phoenix Mercury, they literally game planned to assault Clark and show her what the W was about. And she made headlines not just for her words, but her actions, like when she delivered a hard foul on JC Sheldon that sparked a full-on on-court melee. That moment wasn't just retaliation, it was a message. If you mess with Caitlin, you deal with Sophie. That move made her a fan favorite. Almost overnight, within 2 days, Sophie's TikTok following shot up by 600,000. Her jersey sold out completely. She didn't just gain new fans, she became a movement. People started calling her the enforcer the league desperately needed. Even she admitted, "I went from 350,000 followers to over 1 million on Instagram and TikTok almost overnight. I actually got tired of seeing myself everywhere, and I love myself." But Sophie's fight isn't just with players, it's with the referees too. She's openly criticized their inconsistency, especially when it comes to protecting Clark. Her most famous jab came in the form of a TikTok mocking their missed calls. The league's response, a $500 fine. Sophie's reaction was pure sarcasm. "I got fined $500 for this TikTok. I don't know why." Like, okay, you got it, bud. There aren't more important things to be worried about in our league right now. She made it clear that she wasn't asking for special treatment, just consistency. If you're going to fine me for something, fine the other team when they do it too. A $500 fine isn't going to change anything. And now, defending Caitlin has put Sophie in the crosshairs as well. In a game against the Connecticut Sun, she took an elbow to the face, no whistle. Against the Sparks, she was grabbed by the neck in a scramble again. No whistle. What started as targeted aggression toward Clark has now spread to anyone who stands up for her. Cunningham says one of the root causes is jealousy. She points to the 2025 All-Star voting as proof Clark was the runaway fan favorite, leading all players in fan votes but barely cracked the top 10 among guards in player voting. It was so blatant that Dick Vitale called it pure jealousy. Sophie agrees, noting that some players have even made snide comments or seemed to celebrate when Clark got hurt. What Sophie understands, and what these jealous players don't, is that Clark's rise benefits everyone. Bigger salaries, better travel accommodations, sold-out arenas, and skyrocketing TV ratings. Yet, as Sophie bluntly put it, one of the biggest problems in the WNBA right now is the officiating. The referees are inconsistent, slow to review plays, and even when they do review, they still get calls wrong. Worst of all, they refuse to crack down on players who try to take out the league's biggest asset, the golden goose that could make everyone in the league, including the commissioner, more money. And until that changes, Sophie Cunningham is making it clear she's not afraid to keep calling them out,